Welcome to another episode of National Divorce Talk Raw. We have a news roundup. There's a lot of discussion about secession coming up. A presidential candidate for America is now talking about the right of secession. When we look here in California to the future, it looks like Trump might be coming back. I'll show you some evidence of that. And finally, we're going to get to a discussion about the Texas nationalist movement recently was in the news and they had a lot of growth. And then all of a sudden, their social media pages were shut down, which is exactly what happened to us in Yes, California, 2 days after Donald Trump was elected. We were growing by leaps and bounds, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. And then all of a sudden, one day, we stopped growing. We were growing by thousands literally each day. And then one day we just stopped growing as if people lost interest or social media companies cut us off and tricked us, just like it looks like they're doing to Texas. Coincidence? You'll be able to answer. We'll get to that in just a second. Well, let's get to the big news. We'll get right to it. Nikki Haley is running for president. She's a Republican candidate, and she used to hang out with Donald Trump. Now she says she's not so big on Trump, but she kind of is. I don't know. Anyway, she's running as a Republican. She wants to be the first woman president. She's technically a minority and technically from immigrants, although she doesn't talk like a minority or somebody from immigrants, in my opinion. But she's getting a lot of news because when she announced her presidency, like right after, some footage came up where she says, you have the right to secede. 2010 presidential candidate Nikki Haley told pro-Confederate group that states have a right to secede. Interviewer, do you believe states of the Union, do you believe the states of the United States have the right to secede from the Union? I think they do. I mean, the Constitution says that. Here you go. I don't know if the audio came in, but that's literally what she said right there. Here's the video. Let's follow that to the Twitter page. Here's the original tweet, reprinted February 14, 2023. So that's where it came from. Here's the article. Nikki Haley is on video saying, yes, you have the right to secede. And so now there's a presidential candidate saying you have the right to secede out there. That only pushes the concept of national divorce further because we have a candidate saying this. Remember that previously we had Ted Cruz, a sitting senator, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, a sitting Congress member, talk about the right of secession. And that at that time, we were saying here at Texit that that's historic because the last time that you had a sitting senator and a sitting Congress member in Congress talking about secession was in the 1860s. And so now, for the first time since the 1860s, we've had a sitting member of Congress, sitting member of the Senate talking about the secession. Now we have a presidential candidate talking about the right of secession. This kind of looks like a modern-day Jefferson Davis. This is another parallel with 1860 we have not seen in 150 years. So, happening now, the year after, basically Marjorie Taylor Greene and Ted Cruz said, yeah, you can secede, and they were the first people in Congress to do that in 150 years. Interesting. Okay, here's the next article. Let me make sure that's shown. Yeah. So, Texas secession movement president warns of big tech censorship after TikTok account suspended, unacceptable. TikTok reinstated the account of the Texas National Movement. On the same day, Fox Digital News reached out for comment. What a coincidence. The president of a political movement that is pushing for Texas to secede from the Union warned of big tech censorship after his organization was allegedly suspended from the platform without explanation. Daniel Miller, president of the Texas Nationalist Movement, told Fox News Digital that his group had decided to start a TikTok account to post videos related to their movement, which is calling for Texas to revert to the sovereign republic it had been. Miller said the response from TNM's TikTok videos has been pretty incredible, with the group's first video racking around 1.5 million views. Then all of the sudden, on January 27th, TikTok said your account has been banned. They didn't say why. They just said you're banned. Right after you got this video getting a lot of people talking about secession, you're banned for no explanation. That's what TikTok said. Fox News reached out to the company. They did not respond to Fox, but that same day their account was reinstated. So TikTok bans the video after they make a big splash. They don't tell them why. Fox News reaches out to them. TikTok has nothing to say to Fox News, no comment. They just reinstate the account. It's almost like they knew that they did wrong and they were caught out and they didn't want to get caught in the backlash. That happened to us here at Yes California. We were getting very big 2 days after Donald Trump was elected president. Our Facebook page was blowing up. It went from like 12,000 to 40,000 within a few days. And then all of a sudden, although we were growing like 1,500 people a day, it just stopped. Just stopped. No more people joined. So we're going 1,000 people a day, 1,000 people a day, 1,000 people a day, 1,000 people a day. Nothing. I guess everybody just lost interest after so many days of 1,000 people joining. That's not how that works. We were clearly shadow banned by Facebook. These people have been clearly shadow banned by TikTok. We also know from Elon Musk that Twitter took orders from the Democrats and Biden administration to censor accounts. So we know for a fact from Elon Musk's released Twitter cables, Twitter was directed by the federal government to censor accounts. Now that was Twitter. We didn't hear anything about TikTok. We didn't hear anything about Facebook. But now we see instances of TikTok, shutting down secessionists, just like Facebook shut down secessionists in California. Isn't that weird? It's almost like the social media companies are taking orders from the federal government, and the federal government is literally telling Americans the conversations they can and cannot have in a democracy. Think about that. That is as un-American as it gets. We're not done. Let's do one more show. So, Joe Biden is doing horribly. The Breakfast Club is a very liberal show, a lot of minorities based out of New York City minorities, very liberal. Charlemagne the God, very smart guy, very left-leaning radio show. And they said, hey, do you think Joe Biden should run again? And here's what they heard back. I think Joe Biden is a creep. He really didn't do blank for us. I'd rather have Donald Trump. That's an African-American person saying this. Here you go. So if you go to about 42 minutes into the Breakfast Club show, which is linked to this article, you can see it. So if the audio doesn't come in, basically what you're seeing is a lot of people called in, a lot of Black people, a lot of Latino people, and said, I hate Biden and would prefer Trump. So anyways, on the Breakfast Club show, they were calling in to a bunch of people in New York City and saying, what do you think of Joe Biden? They expected a lot of support. They were shocked that people were slamming Biden and saying, I prefer Trump. Minorities in urban New York on a popular liberal left-wing radio show were slamming Biden and saying, I would prefer Trump. It was so bad, it shocked the radio host, and then Breitbart News covered it, obviously, to laugh at them because they got spanked pretty hard. So, minorities turning against Biden when you talk to them, backing Trump. Presidential candidates talking about secession, and secession heating up so much that companies are shutting down pages without reason and then embarrassed when they're called out for it. Like somebody told them to do it and they knew they shouldn't have. That's the news for now. Obviously, things are not getting calmer and more stabilized, and Americans are not coming together. And every day we have more significant voices jumping in to say secession is something we should look at. And we, again, here at National Divorce, are the only people trying to keep you informed of all of this. Something the mainstream media just doesn't seem to want to do. Okay, we'll see you soon.